friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and I love creating videos about living a healthy and productive lifestyle. This is my dog Everest, who wants to be right where I am all the time. Hey, you won't leave me alone. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to make friends as an adult. This is something that I hear people talk about all the time. It's definitely harder to make friends once you're an adult and you're not in school or extracurriculars, and basically your friendships aren't being handed to you. So almost 3 years ago, I moved to a completely new city, new province. My husband and I just got married. He was already living here, but I moved across the country to be here, so I knew nobody except my husband. And he obviously had his own friends, but at the time none of them really had girlfriends, so it's not like I easily just became friends with his friends. So the reason I'm filming this video is because I think that I did a pretty good job at making friends. It wasn't easy. I put in a lot of intentional effort. It wasn't something that just kind of happened overnight. So I just kind of wanted to share with you guys how I was able to make friends. And I just want to mention that while I am a little bit of an extrovert, like I love hanging out with people, I am so shy. I hate meeting new people. I'm so uncomfortable like talking to new people. I hate small talk. So I am not one of those people that just makes friends wherever they go. So my first tip is that you basically just need to go places where there are people. So you need to just put yourself in situations where you're going to meet new people, and there are so many different ways you can do this. It kind of depends on what your hobbies are. For me, the most successful place that I was able to make friends was through my church. So if you are a Christian or obviously any other religion, I really encourage you to become involved in your church and really make an effort to meet people, because that's such a good way to meet people. But then if you don't go to church, or maybe you just didn't find that worked for you, think of any other hobby that you have and try to meet other people through that. So if you love yoga, I would suggest getting a yoga membership and going regularly and talking to people and meeting people there. Maybe you love photography, so you could find like a photography meetup group in your city. There are so many groups that meet up, either through like the Meetup app, which I haven't actually used. There are so many like Facebook communities that you can find people with any like hobby or interest. If you love like soccer or hockey or some sport, try to find a team that you can join. Maybe there's like a book club or something, but the key is that you need to go somewhere where you're going to meet people. There are so many free events in every single city. Go on Facebook, go on Eventbrite, go on anywhere, look up like free workout in the park. Or maybe it's not free, maybe you have to pay $4 or something. Maybe there's some sort of class that you could go to. Just find things to go to so that you can meet new people. And if you're choosing a specific event like that, you're going to find people that you have something in common with. And then along with that is that you need to go consistently. You can't expect to go to church or go to yoga one time and meet your new best friend. I mean, it might happen, but there's a much better chance that it's not gonna happen, that you're gonna have to go over and over and over again and just be really consistent. And this is the hardest part, because I remember going to things and being so frustrated that I wasn't meeting anyone, I wasn't clicking with anyone, I wasn't creating any relationships. But you just have to keep going. You have to keep going to something week after week after week, even if it's hard. Obviously, if you've been going to something for 6 months and you've never met anyone, then maybe it's time to try something new. But in my experience, you really need to push through those first like 4 or 5 weeks that are a little bit awkward and you might not talk to anyone, and then you'll start connecting with people. And then once you do start meeting someone, so I'm just going to use the example of a yoga class throughout this video, I think. But let's say you're in yoga class and for 2 or 3 weeks you've been beside someone that you kind of feel like you maybe would have something in common with, and maybe you've already talked a little bit and found out something about them. The next step is to ask them for either their phone number or their Facebook or just some way to contact them. And I promise you, this is not weird. I do this to people all the time, like dozens and dozens of people, and nobody has ever thought it was weird. I think most people are super grateful that you're the one that asked, because they're thinking the same thing. And what I usually do is I just like open up my phone and have the contact like app or whatever open, and I'm just like, hey, can you put your number in my phone? Like, I'd love to go out for coffee or something sometime. And you just have to initiate that. And one thing that I have learned over the past 3-ish years is that almost everybody else in my like age group is feeling the same. So many people, especially once they're done college and working, they're just feeling very alone and like they don't really have any quality friends. And almost everyone that I have become friends with in the past few years was kind of in the same situation situation as I was, even if they hadn't moved cities. I just think that this is a time of our life where you might lose touch with people that you were friends with in high school or even in college when people start moving around, getting married, and getting jobs and stuff. So definitely don't feel like you are the only one who doesn't have any friends, because in my experience that is so not true. Another amazing way to meet people is through social media. I have so many friends that I met through Instagram, and you don't have to be an influencer to do this at all. I promise it's not weird to meet people on Instagram. I did it long before I had like a bigger following on Instagram. Obviously do so in a safe place, like don't invite a stranger over to your house when you're home alone, but there's truly no harm in just like going out for coffee with someone at Starbucks or something. A good way to meet people through social media is to look at location tags, so look at who else is tagging things in your location, maybe just in your city, or maybe there's like a greenhouse in your city that you love. Look at other people that are tagging that location, one of your favorite places. Maybe it's a gym, maybe it's a park, and just find other accounts that are tagging places, and don't like creepily message them right away and be like, hi, I'd like to meet you at Starbucks, because that's not a good idea. But just follow them and just start engaging with them, and you'll find out pretty soon whether or not that's someone that you might want to connect with in the future. And then you need to remember that not everyone's going to be your best friend. There might even be people that you go out for coffee with and it's really awkward and you don't have anything to talk about, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. You lose an hour of your time and then you just don't have to be friends with that person. Or maybe you go out for coffee with someone and you get along, but you just know that you're not going to be best friends, and that's fine. You don't have to be best friends with every single person. I actually love having different friends that kind of have a different purpose. Which sounds really selfish. I don't really mean it like that, but like there might be one friend who's the person that you always call if you're having a really hard day, and that's the person that you can cry to. But then you might have another friend who's just someone that you can call up and be like, hey, I was thinking about going to the farmer's market today, would you like to join me? You might have another friend who's always the person that you can call up to go to a workout class with or go on a hike with. And I love that. I love having friends who have different interests. You don't have to find one person that like checks every single one of your boxes, because you can have more than one friend. And then the last thing is that you just need to say yes. I do think there are different seasons in our life where we say yes to lots of things. 3 years ago, I was in a huge yes season of my life where I said yes to everything all the time. I was always doing stuff because I was trying to make these friendships. And then even once I like started these friendships, I was trying to foster them and grow them and work on them. So I was always saying yes to things. I was always doing different things. And now a couple years later, I have friendships that are more secure and I don't need to put as much work into. And I would say I'm not in as much of a yes stage of my life right now. I'm actually in a stage where I say no to more things. But it's okay if there's a season of your life where you just need to say yes to everything. That doesn't mean it's forever. It doesn't mean that for the rest of your life you have to go on coffee dates with all the people all the time. It just means that at this stage in your life, you need to say yes to things. You need to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, and it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be a little bit hard, but I promise it's so worth it to have good quality friends where you live. So I hope that you enjoyed that video today. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like this sort of content, and if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.